at ng Mercury Drugstores nationwide.
This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
This program is supported by Red Juice. Bago ang lahat, cleansing muna. Red Juice muna.
Welcome to Open for Business. Mapapanood nyo rin ang programang OFB sa Facebook at YouTube. Mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media at Net25. I am Cesar Vallejos. Welcome to Open for Business. Samahan ninyo kaming tuklasin ng iba't ibang pamamaraan kung paano mapapaunlad ang inyong negosyo. Aalamin din natin mula sa mga eksperto ang mga pangunahing trends at mga estratehiya kung paano mapapanatiling ang negosyo, maliit man o malaki, ay maging laging open for business. Ang 2021 ay isa pang taon ng COVID-19 crisis, ngunit hindi nagpatalo dito ang mga Pilipinong negosyante. Sinamantala nila ang pagkakataong ito para matutunan kung paano nila mapapabuti ang kanilang mga negosyo sa kabila ng pandemya. As part of their weekly habit, many tuned in to this show to increase their knowledge and expand their skills for success. In this episode of Open for Business, we will revisit the tricks and tips shared by industry leaders, award-winning authors, motivational speakers, and small business owners. Find out how we can apply these learnings so that we can do business together in 2022. All these in this episode of Open for Business. In order to curb the spread of new infections, social distancing was strictly enforced and outdoor movement was limited. With different community quarantines and now alert level classifications, we spent a lot of time at home this year. Thankfully, Filipinos are very resourceful, using this opportunity to sell goods online. Even celebrities became online sellers like TV host Mariel Padilla. Some entrepreneurs took remote selling to new heights, like motivation speaker Paolo Tibig, while other business owners went back to the drawing board to reevaluate their business models with marketing guru Josiah Go. They didn't view the pandemic as an obstacle, but as an opportunity to grow. You are one of the most beautiful faces, most popular faces in Philippine television. And alam naman po natin, nung dumating ang pandemya,
natigil ang lahat, natigil ang buhay. Kung sa mga karaniwang mga tao, natigil sila, nawalan ng mapagkakitaan, paano ba nakaapekto ang pandemya sa inyong pamumuhay, Miss Maria?
Siguro you can say that the pandemic hit us hard. Kasi kaming dalawa ng asawa ko, ang hanap buhay namin talaga ang television, ang entertainment. And entertainment was one of the things na bawal. I mean, bawal because hindi tayo makapag-shooting, hindi tayo makapag-taping, hindi tayo makapag-live show, bawal ang maramihang gathering. And alam niyo naman po, para makapag-produce ng isang single show, gaano karaming tao ang involved. Lalo na po for us because hindi po kami lumalabas ng bahay because I have small kids. And yun po syempre, ang unang-unang priority namin is to protect our children. So, hindi pwede na lumalabas kami. So, wala talaga. Buti nga po binanggit niyo that at least kahit paano we have online work. So, dun sa online work, nakakatulong po yun with yung work. Pero, aside from that, dahil nga hindi kami, ang daming tumitigil sa amin na lumabas, ang hirap maghanap ng trabaho.
Mm-hmm.
And ang dami kong natutunan that there are a lot of things that you can still actually do even if you're in the house.
When this thing happened, parang you said, you discovered something about yourself or you discovered maybe another skill that you know. What are those? What is it that you have learned from the pandemic and what is it?
I took the chance to learn new skills like what you said. Natuto po ako gumawa ng sariling pandesal. Ako na po ang gumagawa ng pandesal sa amin dito sa bahay. Hindi na po kamo bumibili. So, yung mga bagay na yun, I learned to create new recipes, a lot of other dishes for my family. So, marami pong realizations at marami rin namang magandang bagay na nangyari dahil dito sa pandemic. Siguro, ang pinaka-importante po sa lahat is yung family time.
How do you find new markets for your product?
Totoo po pala talaga yung word of mouth. Totoo po talaga yon. So, I started. Siguro yun na rin yung medyo naging edge ko po kasi meron tayo mga friends in the industry, ganyan. So, I started by sending out. Hindi na nga po ako lumayo. Sa kanila ko po muna na pinatikim. Pinatikim ko sa kanila and then they started posting it, they started liking it. And the best feedback na nakuha ko po that until now I really treasure when sabi nila, So totoo pala, hindi lang pala siya hype. Masarap talaga yung steak mo. So, yung gano'n, naku, maraming salamat. At saka sabi ng lolo ko sa akin, kapag yung client umulit, okay ka na. Sabi niya, yun yung mga words sa akin ng lolo. Pag yung kliyente mo umulit, sa'yo, okay ka na. Ibig sabihin na gustuhan talaga nila. And so, a lot of my clients are returning clients. Or another thing is like, pag ginagawa na nilang regalo, yung produkto mo, nako, yun yung mga talagang, kasi sabi nila, yung sa inyo po yung ireregalo ko kasi alam ko hindi ako mapapahiya. Diba? Nakaka-flatter at saka malaki din yung responsibility, diba? Dahil pinagkatiwalaan ka. Lalo na pag kasama ka dun sa mga handaan nila, birthday, anniversary, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Diba? Yun yung mga nakakatuwang, mga ina-excite ako ng mga moments na sobrang inaano ko po, parang pinag-iingatan ko.
We know we started the interview, you being a TV host to being an entrepreneur. Ano po sa palagay ninyo yung mga naggamit naman ninyong tricks of being a TV host to you now being a mompreneur?
Feeling ko kasi isa po dun sa naging edge ko was because nga madaldal po ako. Madaldal din po ako magbenta. Opo. Nakakapag-ano po talaga ako. Yun yung naging ano ko. So I can explain my product. I can talk about it. Kasi galing nga po tayo sa nag-host tayo, ganyan. So madali for me to talk. I can talk about it. I can talk forever. Alam mo, kaya nga sabi niyo po, kulang po yung 1 hour natin. Kasi I can talk forever po talaga, di ba? So, yun po yung mga bagay na, and I just want to say po na it's really true. Yung goal po at yung vision ng Unlad, it's happening. Natutupad po siya. Yung vision po ni Ka Jun, nangyayari po na to provide jobs for everyone. It's happening. And isa po ako doon sa na-inspire ng Unlad to create my own with all the stories of all the success stories of the case studies that we feature in Unlad. So, sobra pong nakakatuwa. Alam niyo po si Robin, yung Unlad, hindi niya po yan tinitingnan as work. Tinitingnan niya po yung Unlad as yung because of the vision na nakakatulong. Kahit nasa West Philippine Sea po si Robin, umuuwi yan dahil may taping siya ng Unlad. Opo, ganun kaano sa kanya yung Unlad because masyadong marami ang nagre-rely. Masyadong marami ang nangangailangan ng trabaho. 'Di ba? Sinabi nga po, you don't give man fish. You teach him how to fish. Yun po ang yun ang ginagawa natin sa Unlad. And thank you very much for that because I am a product of Unlad Kaagapay ng Hanap Buhay. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng bumubuo ng Net25 for that. Thank you so much for giving moms like me inspiration to finally have the courage to have our own business, even if we are at home and still caring for our families. So maraming salamat po for having me in today's show. Thank you so much po.
Now today we are going to be talking about strategies for success in remote selling. Unang-una, Sir Paulo, why is this an important topic to talk about now?
Well, alam naman natin no that pandemic ngayon, no, panahon ngayon, and basically maraming businesses or negosyo are really coping up and trying to figure out ano ang pinakamaganda to still continue selling successfully, di ba? We have seen many businesses that have closed down. We have seen many businesses that really are struggling, and some of those in a way hindi makabenta. So there as we see, parang many right now are looking into ways kung paano ipagpapatuloy na magkaroon pa rin ng magandang revenue, na magandang profit ang ating mga companies or businesses. And one of those, yung key doon talaga is about remote selling. Many sales professionals, 63% of them, believe that it is more effective at this point. Kaya nga sabi ko earlier, sooner, even post-pandemic, baka makita na natin, hybrid na yan, blended na yan. And yun naman ang gusto natin, we can reach more people beyond borders, di ba? Beyond your typical parang zone wherein you can sell further. You can expand further your negosyo. Mas marami kang pwedeng mabentahan, mas marami kang pwedeng ma-reach out. So yan yung nakikita natin. So that's another, no? And there are ways wherein another 64% now who invest in social media as a platform to do this. So, Randy, ito yung sinasabi ko and to all our viewers, no? Parang bakit hindi natin i-maximize yung ating social media platform? Di ba? Hindi lamang yung TikTok lang tayo ng TikTok. Hindi lang pwedeng post lang tayo. Pati yung, alam mo yun, pati yung buhay na may buhay, pakikialaman natin. Di ba? Parang gamitin natin into a good use and worthwhile yung ating mga social media accounts. So, given with this, I think mas marami ngayon, and lalo na yung mga professionals talaga na sa selling, who really sees as a very good platform yung mga social media natin.
How do someone like me, na hindi talaga techie, how can I adapt and really embrace this new mode of selling?
One of those things na pwede natin gawin is really to really provide open-ended questions. Now, the key here, earlier I've said it's about embracing. We have to really accept what is happening around us. Why? Remember everyone, lahat tayo, we need to sell. And if our competition is adapting to the changes how to sell remotely right now, what about us? So anong kailangan natin? May mga keys kasi or checklist to be successful in remote selling. Okay? So ito po yung mga i-adapt natin. No? Nilagay ko po ito sa tatlong bagay. Una, it's about our core. Meaning to say, the need for us to be engaged through what? Yung confidence natin dapat mataas siya. So, ano ibig sabihin? Adapt and be familiarized to new selling platforms. So, kailangan natin mag-adapt with the new selling platform. Ano-ano nga ba to? Ito na nga yun, virtual. Ano nga ba ito? Pwedeng meron kang virtual brochure. Di ba? If you're in travel agency, you have your virtual tours. If you are into, parang generally, you can have a virtual brochure by way of what? Probably PowerPoint, deck, presentation, then discuss. Those things, no? So ang kailangan dito? Familiarization. Why? If we will not be familiarized, hindi tayo magiging familiar with the selling platform, we will be having, alam mo yung hindrance of getting new sales, new account. Kasi kung gagawin pa rin natin face-to-face, what if it's not possible at this point? With the restrictions, di ba parang, eto na naman ba, naghigpit ba doon sa lugar na yon? How can you meet with them, etc., etc. So, first key then to adapt is what? Effectively, confidence. Again, be familiarized to new selling platform. Okay. Another, Randy, is about content. Content. So, ibig sabihin, we need to have a precise, on-point, and interesting content. So, dito na pumapasok, pwede naman ho tayong patulong sa, kunyari, sa kasama natin sa bahay, marunong ng konting graphics, o yung mga kasamahan natin, pwede na nating pa-outsource yan. Gig economy nga ang pinag-usapan, freelancing. Total, you have to invest on in your profession, in your career. So dapat, yung mga ganung minimal investment, you have to do that. Kasi to make your content more interesting, on point, and precise. So yan. These are key effective way. Now, another way to communicate it better and to adapt, you have to have yung clarity. Ano ba yung clarity? Yung appropriately, yung manner how you deliver. Diba? Kanina sabi mo, Randy, I'm more comfortable doing it face-to-face. Now, how do you now adapt doing it virtually, wherein the manner of delivery should be the same as you are in what? Face-to-face.
What is the business model map?
Well, let me separate, that into two parts: business model and map. No, a business model is how how a company creates, deliver, and capture value. So that's what business model is all about. It's about value. A map, as you know, just like a street map, a map is a visual representation of a particular subject and the interlinking relationship. Therefore, a business model map is about how it creates a one-page visual representation of the route that the company will take in order to create value for your customer and for your stockholder.
So, Sir Josiah, how will the business model map help me in creating my own business model?
Well, it's really part of preparation. And in fact, I wrote a book with Chiquis Carialgo a few years ago, and we shared what is called the 4 gates of entrepreneurship. This is gate 1, preparation. Gate 2 is marketing. Gate 3 is execution. Gate 4 is self-leadership. Look, can you imagine you start doing your marketing, but you don't see the bigger picture?
What are some words of encouragement that you can give to MSMEs, yung mga small business owners na lalo na nahihirapan sila ngayon? What's some advice and encouragement that you can give them to help them survive during these difficult times?
Well, 2 things. No, one is to learn from history. And to understand, like the Spanish flu 100 years ago, it took a little over 2 years for it to disappear. No? And it had no vaccination at all. The vaccination came 25 years after. No? But many people died in the process. But in terms of the economy, as a result of the Spanish flu, the recession, it took 5 years for the economy to recover. So what I'm saying, you gotta have a reality check, because history is already telling us the economy is not going to recover this year, next year. It will take quite some time to do that. No? The second thing is this is the time to understand that you can have a be creative and have a second business. If you have a business, have a second business. And if your first business is not working, at least you have a second business. And once everything goes to normal, you now have two businesses. No? And so congratulations, you can have a better revenue, better profitability. The third thing is to always realize that history will also tell us pandemic will never last forever. There's no such thing. I'm not sure if only love or pag-ibig can last a lifetime. A pandemic never lasts a lifetime. No? There's always a cut-off date. The pandemic will be gone. So think positively too. And one of the things that we have an SME survey, and what we realize is that many people are affected with mental health issues. Many entrepreneurs are affected with mental health issues. And I also realize that many do not exercise. No? And I want to encourage entrepreneurs, not on business model, but because I know them, in terms of the behavior, that they don't do exercise. It matters in terms of how you think. So I would encourage exercise every day, or at least every other day, for your own physical and
this week. Welcome to Kusina ni Nadia's Year 2022! Yay! Hello! Ayan, ito ang aking mga fans. Ito po ang mga apo ko. Apo ni Tanya. This is Lorita and Naya. Ayan, ito ang ultimate test. Kung magugustuhan nila luto ni Mama Nads. Ano, babe?
Sarap po.
Dahil ang krisis sa COVID-19 ay may matinding epekto sa maraming kabuhayan, natutunan natin ang kahalagahan ng financial literacy. Award-winning author Francis Colaico taught us about personal finance and how to build wealth which could lead to economic gains. We also learned from other industry experts about how our nation could achieve economic recovery. Presidential Advisor Joey Concepcion emphasized that vaccination was essential to reopen the Philippine economy. Secretary General of PCCI Ruben Pascual stressed the need for technological innovations, and Gingay Hontiveros, Senior Advisor for Agripreneurship, reminded us that agriculture is a vital sector that must not be neglected. Let's take a look.
It's a very interesting topic that we have this afternoon, Mr. Colaico. Off-cam, we were talking about the digital space, and if businesses are not in this digital space, we will be left out. So how has the pandemic changed the way we do business today, Mr. Colaico?
Well, first, I think we have to accept the reality na na-triple book tayo. We've been hit from all sides. There is no longer demand, there is no longer supply, and there is no longer credit. When there is no market, there is no supply, and there is no credit, we're back to zero, basically. But we still need to survive, we need to eat, we need to move, we have to earn, we have to spend, we have to save, and we have to save for the future somehow. Those obligations will not go away. In fact, we are existing in this world, and I think you'll agree with me, principally because in the end, we want to share what we have. And we cannot share something if we don't have it.
That's right.
So, number one obligation natin, whether you're single, married, or whatever, you need to think of yourself to accumulate some assets. Some call it wealth, but for lack of a better term, we'll call it wealth in a good way, so that you can share it with your loved ones in the end. That's our end game. It's sharing. Because if we are not in that mindset, there's no point, no point trying to accumulate anything if it's just for ourselves. Then there will be no rules, no ethics. We just go for our own selfish motives. So we start with that premise that we're here to save, accumulate something, some assets that we can share with our community, with our loved ones, with our church, with whoever needs it. That's our main purpose in life. At least that's my belief.
How do you create this, ways? What are your insights in terms of having this mindset that's really abreast with the times?
Well, if you go back to the basic principles of personal finance, you have to earn, save, plan, invest, and spend. Right? You have to still to do the same things, but now in a different platform. Because now, from here, I'm able to get a client in Czechoslovakia, for example, or Italy, by just giving him my own proposal and we interact. My own daughter is doing that with her design ideas. She puts it out on the web, and people of the same mindset, the same community, they test each other, they form their own community, and they give business to each other. And she's been very successful, far more from her expectation. She would not be able to earn that kind of money working for somebody here, even getting paid a high salary. But now, because you open up the market to every single individual in the world, you are now able to do something better. But you have to go out of your way, get out of your comfort zone, and learn new things, and not be afraid to fail.
On the fear of this 40% of Filipinos as a result of this survey, where do you think is this fear coming from? Bakit takot yung 40%, Sir Joey?
Well, I think one is education. Many of our people, especially those at the bottom of the pyramid, are in a way not being given enough advice, and in simple explanation why they have to take the bakuna. That's why we have launched Let's Go Bakuna, which is a campaign of the private sector to encourage our employees to really take the vaccine. And this is the only way that we can save both lives and livelihoods. And here, of course, we have a stake, yung mga negosyo namin. Kung sirado ang economy, we have to close the business. You will have to let go of your workers, and the workers will have nothing to do. Then you create poverty because wala silang pagkain, wala silang medicina. So you will have those two problems, because then you still have your health issue because they don't want to take the vaccine, and you will have more closures because we are closing down the economy.
Are there initiatives of the private sector, of the companies, making sure that this is free, this is safe?
I think it's very clear that we have taken that role to really help the government. And you have platforms like the tripartite, which protects the vaccine manufacturer, the private sector, who's going to implement it. And the key here is implementation. And that's why we launched the Let's Go Bakuna. That's why we are putting an awareness that we cannot accept 60% as the success rate of the vaccine program. That's failure to me. We have to go beyond 80% to be able to say that we are successful. And the battlefield is basically in NCR. We have to win NCR, and we have to make NCR basically reach herd immunity before the end of the year. That's if we're able to have the vaccines arrive on time, implement and vaccinate our employees as fast as possible together with the LGU, and of course, get our employees wanting to be vaccinated. That's all the things that we have to do to be successful. Then we win the war in NCR. When you win NCR, and I'm sure the generals will agree with me, that's a big victory. Then you can go out and start, pushing the virus back to, being extinct. So I'd like to maybe give more hope to our small entrepreneurs there who have been struggling through the years. Go Negosyo, together with the Department of Trade and Industry, Department of Agriculture, and TESTA, has been mentoring many of our micro and small entrepreneurs. They run into the thousands today. Go Negosyo is hitting close to 2 million followers. That's to show you the massive impact that we've created in helping our MSMEs. And I know, karamihan sa inyo, talagang you are feeling the biggest challenge of your life. And we're here to help you in whatever way we can. And now, it's not only that we're helping through our mentoring program, yung mga mentors namin who are offering free services and working with DTI and DA on online mentoring programs that is very effective, especially at a time like this when people need to be consoled. When you have a problem, all you need to do is talk to a mentor to encourage you. But we have also focused our efforts to really helping solve the health problem. And don't lose hope. We are here to help you.
With all the leaders participating, giving their inputs at the Philippine Business Conference, you mentioned already, some of the platforms that you wanted to see prosper in the next administration, and that's number one. You said about internet connectivity, agriculture and agribusiness development. Meron pa bang nakikita ka na parang dapat pagtuunan na sinabi nila? Maaaring na mabanggit na ng 5 nandoon. But you as Secretary General of the PCCI, what is maybe the third platform where you should see where should the next administration focus on?
Ang mga common na naging plataforma ay infrastruktura,
yes.
Diba? Specific internet connectivity, usap agrikultura, at lahat. Pero yung isang common din sa kanilang lahat is paano nila i-handle yung kunyari ang pandemya nangyari ngayon. Diba? Paano gagawin mo? At saka paano mo ipapatuloy, etc. ngayon? Ano yung programa? So may mga iba talaga mga presidente na talagang matutuwa ka na very detailed yung programa nila on recovering the economy. Hindi broadside comments. It's really
general brushstrokes.
It's a really planned.
Concrete plans.
So makikita mo kasi this is where we want to judge our next president from what you can really deliver. Diba? Diba? To what extent mo na pinaghandaan nito kung ano. So, yung background nila in the past and performance is going to be very critical for people's choices. Hindi lang dahil na sikat or etc. So, ginawa namin yung presidential forum in a way to help educate people. We are not, we do not side with any candidate, ang PCCI. Kasi what we do, we work with every government. Kung sino man nanalo, we immediately work with them and see paano natin matutulungan yung business sector. That is always the political stand of PCCI. We don't side and we work immediately with the administration.
Ano po ba yung mga nakikita mong technological predictions, tech innovations na mangyayari sa mga susunod na taon para makalampas tayo? Sabi nga nila, di ba, hindi pa nga natatapos ang pandemya na to, parang may mga nababalita ulit na ibang mga variants, ibang mga ibang uri ng pandemya. And tama kayo yung readiness ng bansa kung sakaling magkaroon ulit ng pandemyang ganito. So, first, what are those predictions in terms of tech innovations that you see? And ano naman po yung inyong inputs, yung tips sa mga small businesses?
Yes. Ang billing ko sa mga small businesses, not only the small and big, is not to rely on the next elections. Ngayon pa lang, yung tiwala nila, manggaling sa tiwala sa Pilipino na bilang isang bansa. Kailangan napaka-importante na yung confidence natin na bilang isang bayan na that we are a resilient people. Kaya natin bumangon. Marahil mas malaki pang nasira sa atin kung hindi naman talagang matibay din ng Pilipinong ganyan. Huwag tayo umasa. I believe we will recover and this will be a private sector-led recovery. There is no way. I will not hinge the future of businesses or the Philippines on the next leadership. We will hinge in the very strong private sector, inspired and willing to contribute to the Philippines.
With me is Ms. Gingay Hontiveros Malvar, the Go Negosyo Senior Advisor for Agripreneurship and Programs Head for Bangsamoro Region for Peace and Development and the Vice President for Reputation Management and Sustainability at Aboitiz Equity Ventures. How are you, Ms. Gingay?
Hello, Cesar. Magandang hapon. Okay naman ako. Kamusta ka?
Sa palagay niyo po ba dahil nag-open na po ang marami pong mga ang ekonomiya at marami na pong gumaganda na rin po ang supply chain logistics, magbubukas na nga po bang tuluyan ang ating ekonomiya at lalo na po ang ating agrikultura kasi may mga pangamba rin pa rin po, Ms. Gingay, that this will continue up to maybe 3, 4, or 5 years, but we are very hopeful naman that things will change for the better. What's your outlook, Ms. Gingay?
Well, agriculture is definitely not without its challenges. Alam natin yan. Madami talagang problema. But just like you, Cesar, hopeful talaga ako. I am a born optimist, right? So I tend to see the better side rather than the worst. And at the same time, I'm very balanced and calculated in the sense na kung nakakita tayo ng mga problema, ano ba yung solusyon na pwede natin gawin? Ngayon na. Huwag nang ipabukas, pero ngayon na. So I think also we have a lot of roadmaps already for agriculture, no? Kasi roadmaps that have been put together ng mga, galing sa utak ng napakadaming eksperto dito sa Pilipinas. I think we have enough of those. In theory, alam naman natin kung ano yung mga kailangan gawin. I think now it's really a matter of execution and implementation on the ground. So yun yung nakikita. At saka siguro yung I'm also hopeful and very much an optimist because I can really see how strong ngayon yung public and private sector collaboration at saka partnership. Dati parang kanya-kanya. Ngayon, especially because of COVID, the pandemic, it's really forced us to talk to each other, tapos to share yung mga best practices, and then to do programs together. So, ngayon, mas siya, kung dati it would be about maybe competition to a certain extent, ngayon it's more about collaboration, cooperation, complementation, moving forward. And then let's really focus na talaga, Cesar, dun sa execution ng napakadaming programa at roadmaps. We have enough of those in theory. Now we really have to implement, I think. So we need the great minds, but we also need yung mga great doers. People that can actually execute. And Jan, in the next administration, I hope to see a lot of young people, perhaps in government, also young people in governance, occupying public positions, so that they can really, shake and move the ground, so to speak. Maraming pang magandang mangyayari para sa agrikultura. I'm very hopeful. We have a great Department of Agriculture Secretary. I hope that he stays on maybe for another 6 years kasi marami pang kailangan gawin. We have a lot of agripreneurs and mentors na talaga nagbibigay talaga ng oras para makatulong. We have people like P.A. Joey that have really been helping to do the private sector efforts, diba, to help reopen the economy. So, truth be told, everybody really has to come. We don't have a choice, actually. Kailangan talaga natin magtulungan. We really don't have a choice. This is what's going to make or break the Philippines, diba? So may responsibility talaga tayo to help in whatever capacity. So ako, as an individual, as an employee, as a private sector person, I also do my share in whatever way that I can. So.
Good vibes kada umaga to get you through your day with a happy heart.
Ang bawat sektor ng ekonomiya ay naapektuhan ng pandemya, kabilang ang industriya ng fashion at entertainment. Hil Granado and Jonathan Pagaduan from the Fashion Designers Association of the Philippines shared what was happening behind the scenes. And from the fashion shows then to TV shows, we learned the secrets of television production with the star maker and ratings master, Wilma Galvante, and from behind the camera and in the director's chair, award-winning actor and director Eric Quizon shared a glimpse of filmmaking as a business. Here's a peek through the lens. How were you affected by the pandemic?
Well, to be honest, medyo na-hit ng matindi talaga ang fashion industry, especially dito sa atin. No? So, talagang even me, nahirapan din ako. And then, mostly mga members namin, and then the mga designers from all over, talagang nahirapan din sila. Talagang number one na na-hit din talagang fashion industry.
Pag sinabi mong fashion business, what are the services or the products or the positions na makikita mo, kasi baka akalain ng mga nanonood, ano lang, kumbaga when you say fashion design, parang those are the ones who produce gowns lang. Pero ano nga ba yung mga pinagkakakitaan dito sa fashion business na ito?
Actually, maraming nasasakupan itong fashion thing na to, fashion word na to, dahil fashion is art. So, ibig sabihin nun, kung ano yung kakayanan mong gawin, or like you can produce face mask katulad ng ginawa namin, PPEs, ano pa bang ginawa ng ibang mga designers natin, and mga dresses na pangtulog, easy to wear, and like katulad ko, nag-styling ako sa syempre,
sa mga shows natin.
Sa mga shows ng Net25. And then, maraming bagay na, kumbaga, hindi ka mawawala ng ideas kasi andyan lang siya sa mundo ng art. Makikita mo diyan, makakahugot ka ng idea, basta't lawakan mo lang yung iyong pag-iisip.
Bilang presidente ng Fashion Designers Association of the Philippines, ano yung mga proyekto niyo pa na naiisip na pwedeng parang makatulong din na mag-survive? What is it that you are thinking and what efforts are you doing to ensure that the other designers naman, who are not necessarily members, but parang they will also continue their passion?
So right now kasi may mga projects din kaming online na ginagawa, like yung nag-donate yung FDAP ng thousands of blankets sa mga hospitals, government hospitals, na yun yung tinapos namin itong huli as part of our like 40 years anniversary ng association, right? So those are just a simple way na kung paano kami makakapag-contribute sa ating mga kababayan na talagang hindi naman tumatanggi yung mga designers natin, and they're all willing to help naman and support the industry, kaya hindi ako nahirapan din.
We come up with idea of doing this, parang humanitarian aspect
promotions,
of adding, helping other people. Kasi wala ka naman magagawa sa fashion pa sa ngayon eh. Pero yun yung way na para at least hindi sila mawalan ng pag-asa na kung nangangailangan sila, we are here as a group to help other people as well.
Ano yung maipapayo mo sa mga aspiring fashion designers then, or and for those who are who are already in the industry, how will they survive and hopefully continue to face the new challenges brought about by the pandemic?
Okay. Well, ang ko lang is, may advice ko lang is kung ano yung pangarap niyo, just do it. Kung gusto niyo makapasok sa mundo ng fashion, gawin niyo, wala naman pumipigil. Kasi sabihin na natin medyo ngayon nagpapahinga yung fashion industry, darating ang time na magiging masaya na naman ang industriya, magiging masigla na naman. Kaya ang advice ko is kung gusto niyo maging fashion designer or whatsoever na just do it. Gawin niyo na. Huwag kayong matatakot. May mga organizations tayo na pwedeng sumuporta sa inyo, and then yun.
Ang sa akin naman is, kung ano yung gusto mo bilang designer, you have to follow it. Kasi hindi ka pupunta sa bagay na yan kung hindi mo gusto. And you will not be able to come up with a great design or an art. Kaya lang, ang sa akin lang, huwag mong kalimutan that it has to be coupled with one and first and foremost is a lot of prayers. God can help you because that will lead you. And second is that be humble all the time because your shining moment will come because of the product that you created, that you will be noticed. Diba? Because the creation, your creation speaks for yourself. Yun lang ang sa akin.
Yes.
And then follow your dreams, follow your passion, and that's it. Manalig ka sa Diyos, 100%.
You are an actor, a producer.
A director.
You have a lot of titles, di ba? A director, also a comedian. Pero sabi nga nila, kaunti lang din yung nakakakilala sa iyo as an entrepreneur. Ano bang pinakamahirap doon? Director, writer?
Actually, mahirap lahat. Kaya lang, mas mahirap maging producer eh. Kasi ang puhunan mo, may puhunan ka talaga ilalabas, may kapital ka na ilalabas eh. Pagka director ka, pagka artista ka, talent mo yung kapital mo eh. So, yun, parang, kumbaga parang walang lugi. Diba? Ang producer kasi, may lugi yan. Diba? Maglalabas ka kasi talaga. So, para sa akin, mas mahirap yun. Kasi you are taking a risk. Kasi ang buhay naman talaga, you go through life na maraming factors, maraming risk factors, di ba? Or maraming pagsubok. So, pero hindi mo naman malalaman kung ano talaga yung gusto mo kung hindi ka susubok. Di ba?
My question, Eric, is you've been exposed to the film business, television, your name, your last name, your lineage. In showbiz, you're considered as one of the royalty. So was it also an intention for you to be a CEO of your own venture, or was it a result also of your, some sort of what they say, the entrepreneurial spirit na parang, ay, gusto ko rin ako masunod, gusto kong mag-produce, gusto kong pagkakitaan ito.
Ganun nga nangyari. Kasi maaga ako nag-umpisa mag-produce. 1991, nag-umpisa na ako. So, Kai's Ventures has been there for, what, 30 years. From 1991 to 2021. So that's 30 years. So medyo matagal na din siya. Nag-umpisa ako sa industriya kasi 87. So 4 years lang. 4 years lang ang inano ko, nag-produce na ako. Kasi nakita ko kasi na parang kaya kong gawin to.
In your case, maganda yung simula mo. Pero what are also the risks that you had to really take
during
and
that time
consider?
kasi, it has changed eh. Kumbaga parang yung through the years, parang nag-iba yung nag-iba na yung nag-iba yung landscape eh. Nag-iba yung gusto ng mga tao. Kamukha ko, ang nangyari kasi sa akin, artista muna ako, tapos nag-produce ako, then na-realize ko, sabi ko, parang gusto ko rin mag-direct. So I went to school, nag-aral ako ng directing, and then eventually, nag-direct na ako. Then I started directing and producing and acting in my movies. Para mura, di ba? So, wala akong bayad sa director, wala akong bayad sa leading man. So, kumbaga parang nagpo-produce lang ako talaga. But of course, siyempre, ang pinaka-ano talaga sa lahat dyan is, ano ba yung storya mo? Ano yung concept mo? Kasi, pagka gumawa ka ng mga fantasy, mahirap, madugo gawin yan. Mahirap gawin.
Ano yung mga tips mo, Eric, for you to, help them also create that drive and passion to pursue filmmaking as a business?
Yeah. Well, like I said, of course, most of the people involved o yung mga taong gumagalaw sa industriya ng paggawa ng pelikula or doon sa mga taong gustong gumawa ng mga pelikula, gumawa ng content, lahat itong mga to, creative people yung mga yan. So, siyempre may mga gusto yung gawin. Di ba? Gaya ng sinabi ko, try dream big and try to do pa rin kung ano yung, gawin mo pa rin kung ano yung gusto mong gawin. However, there are ways and means of achieving a goal na hindi magiging costly. One is, kausapin mo na yung mga kaibigan mo na magagaling umarte. Yan.
Okay,
Kasi,
ganda to.
kasi, una sa lahat, kapag ka naniniwala ka doon sa proyekto mo at kumbaga parang mabenta mo siya or sales stock mo siya doon sa mga ano, kasi ganito to. Then, okay yun. Kasi, pagka-creative ka na tao, may intindihan mo yan eh. Kunwari ako, may lumapit sa akin. Pagka nakita ko na maganda yung gusto niya or maganda yung proyekto, gagawin ko yan. Tutulungan ko siya. So, ganun lang naman sa industriya eh. Tulungan lang naman din yan eh. 2, make it simpler without sacrificing yung content or yung laman nung eksena. Isa sa pinaka-importante is scheduling. Bakit mo is-spread out yung 20,000 na yun kung pwede mo naman siyang gawin sa isang araw?
Isang araw lang.
Another one is kailangan you have to choose people who are dedicated. Malalaman mo naman yung tao kapag mahal nila yung trabaho nila eh. Ako sa akin kasi, gagawa ka rin na rin lang. Try to look for the bigger audience. Don't just think of the local audience or a niche market.
How has the pandemic changed television?
Malaki rin ang effect, malaki rin yung impact. First, in terms of acquiring the program, producing the program, naiba yung dynamics. Before, we were free to go to the studio, we were free to go on location, anywhere, kahit saan ka mag-shoot. Ngayon, hindi na pwede yun, di ba? You're always guarded. There's always this protocol that you need to apply to every production that you mount. So, ang laking impact nun in terms of manpower, in terms of casting, in terms of cost, most especially. Kasi, parang because of these health protocols, mga 20% yung idinagdag mo sa cost of production.
Papansin din nyo ba at saka talagang ganun ba dapat talaga ang gawin na TV networks should show content on mainstream television and they will allow the audience to give their feedback in other platforms? Is there a science behind it where you produce content for television and you make your viewers react or give feedback via Facebook, YouTube, and you respond to that? What's the science behind it po?
Actually, maganda nga yun na may ganun ngayon. Kasi instant reaction, then you can also react right away. Before, wala yan. Wala yung comment agad yung audience, tapos meron lang, maririnig mo yun. Matagal. Maghihintay ka ng ratings or maghihintay ka ng mga feedback. Talaga susulat sila sa'yo. Hindi na ganun ngayon. It's always immediately there. So, part na yan ng metrics ng how you measure the performance of your show, the performance of your artists on the show.
Ano po yung outlook ninyo of TV broadcasting here in the Philippines? Is it will it continue to grow? You know, there were closures, there were people who lost their jobs, and then there's this there's this digitalization, and a lot of people are embracing this. All the networks are actually embracing digitalization in terms of their content. Where do you see TV broadcasting going?
Television will continue. Content creation will continue. Offering the public entertainment, informative, educational content is necessity. Need yan ng tao, diba? How it will grow? Sa ngayon, parang ang hirap dahil ang daming kagipitan. Diba? Parang malungkot din kasi hirap na hirap tayong gumalaw. Ramdam na ramdam ng lahat yan. Kahit sinong makausap mo, ramdam yan. Tapos, kahit gusto mong gawin tong malaking project na to as you envision it, alam mong hindi pwede. So maghihintay ka. Pero kailangan meron kang output, kailangan mag-compete ka, kailangan meron kang content na gagawin. So we innovate. Yun, that's one of my favorite operative words also.
Yes.
In content production. You innovate. So, and for me, innovation is a never-ending process because the contents are there, the genres are there, it's well-defined, ilan lang yan, ilan ang formats, yung concepts pwede mong malawakin, pero ang daming concepts na pare-pareho lang. But how do you innovate on that same concept? Yung paano yung mga maliliit na bagay na pag nilagay mo dyan, ibang-iba ka na. Actually, ideas yun eh. Ideas yun that you can come up with, especially if you have a good team. If you have a team na alam nila kung saan sila magpo-focus. So, that's it, you innovate. For me, innovation is a never-ending process because once you innovate on a show, you know where to bring this program forward. How adapting to the times, adapting to what's available, and then being honest also to yourself na alam mong pagkapilit, hindi maganda, aminin mo, wag natin gawin to.
Mga ka-togetherness! Let's watch together and win together sa New Year Countdown Show ng Net25. Mag-e-enjoy na kayo. Pwede pa kayong manalo ng prizes tulad ng brand new car, smartphones, at more than 1 million pesos in cash. Simple lang ang pagsali. Una, gamit ang browser ng inyong cellphone o computer, magpunta sa net25.com at mag-register for free. Sa Countdown Show, ihanda ang inyong mga phone camera at abangan ang paglipad ng agila sa inyong mga screen. Pag-selfie kasama ng agila at ipadala sa website kung saan ka nag-register. Ira-raffle ang inyong mga selfies at i-announce ang winners sa Net25 shows kada umaga at ASPN. Happy New Year na! Baka Happy New Car ka pa! Tara! Let's start 2022 together na!
Open for Business is back, and our term of the week is from Investopedia Financial Plan. It is a document containing the current money situation and long-term monetary goals, as well as strategies to achieve those goals. A financial plan begins with a thorough evaluation of the person's current financial state and future expectations, and may be created independently or with the help of a certified financial planner. Sa pagpasok natin sa taong 2022, hindi pa natin alam ang katapusan ng pandemya. Ngunit ang kawalan ng katiyakan na ito ay nagturo sa atin na maging matatag at laging maging handa, lalo na kung ito ay may kinalaman sa ating kabuhayan. Sa halip na pag-isipan ang kanilang mga problema, ang mga negosyante ay patuloy na naghahanap ng mga solusyon kung paano mapapabuti ang kanilang mga negosyo. It is this driving force that help us achieve economic recovery and one day see the end of the pandemic. And with that, our quote of the week is from esteemed author Peter Drucker. He said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." Maraming salamat po sa panonood ng Open for Business. Thank you to our correspondents Randy Bernardino and Jasmine Agustin. Samahan ninyo kaming muli sa Open for Business sa susunod na linggo. Learn more insights from CEOs, thought leaders, industry experts, and SMEs promoting business development in the Philippines. Keeping you informed and open for business, be ahead of the curve from vision to action. Panoorin din ang programang OFP sa Facebook at YouTube. Mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media at Net25 TV. Para sa Open for Business, ako po si Cesar Vallejos. We live in interesting times. At mula sa Open for Business, Happy New Year sa inyong lahat. Happy New Year po.
This program is supported by Red Juice. Mas masarap ang pakiramdam kapag malinis ang kalooban.